I don't know, normal type, with a hint of electric. Professor, we're supposed to be giving these Pokemon actual typings, not just whatever we want. Alright, fine. Okay, Arceus, the god of all Pokemon. Normal type. Bidoof, a very pathetic beaver that doesn't do anything. Normal type. Charizard, an obvious dragon that learns dragon type moves that's in the Dragon Egg group. Fire flying type. Oh my god, what is this abomination? Get this out of my face! Ugly type! What is going on, guys? This is Dobbs here, bringing you another Pokemon video. And in this video, I'm gonna go over 50 Pokemon that have their typing wrong. But before we start, this video is sponsored by... Wait, what is this video sponsored by? Mini-Me, what are you playing over there? I'm trying to make a video right now. Oh, what am I playing right now? I'm playing Mech Arena, a free competitive robot game with explosive PvP team battles, deep combat tactics, and limitless customization. That's what I'm playing. It sounds like you just read that off the website. Yeah, shut up, you're just jealous. Let me show you what Mech Arena is all about. You see that robot over there? Boom! I just destroyed it because I'm awesome at this game. You see, that robot was a real person because this game is all about player versus player competition. You're always playing other people all of the time. Whether it's in a 2v2, 5v5, deathmatch, or even a control point clash, I'm always wrecking these noobs at this game. Oh, and even sometimes I run my own tournament just for them to come and get destroyed by Mini-Me. You do know that you're technically Mini Dobbs. Like, I say that you're Mini Me because you are me. Yeah, whatever. Check this out. Mech Arena just recently added a brand new Mech Stalker, and it has the Predator Drive ability, which is freaking awesome. And they even released a new weapon, the Gauss Rifle 4, which was updated for the Paradise Plaza map. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. And just by watching you play, I can totally see what's going on. It's very simple to look at. It looks very straightforward to play. Heck yeah, I just picked this game up an hour ago, and I'm already a legend, especially with my new pilot, Nova. So you guys should totally add me. Here's my ID. Oh, and also, if you use the link down below, or this QR code right here, you'll get 50,000 credits, 3 gold crates, and an exclusive Mech event skin. You hear that? It's exclusive. Yeah, I guess I will take on that offer. It's on. And also, big shout out to Mech Arena for sponsoring this video. And with that said, let's get right into the video. Here we go. Girafarig should be a normal dark type because just look at his beta design. Look how evil his twin looks. And as we all know, dark type in Japanese is known as the evil type, and that looks pretty evil to me. Parasect should most definitely be a bug ghost type because when it evolves into Parasect, the mushroom on his back takes over its body. So it's basically a walking zombie with the brain of a parasite. So it would make more sense if it was a bug ghost type, the bug being the parasite and the body being the ghost. Grapploct should be a water fighting type because it's literally an octopus, but it doesn't have the water typing. Maybe it's just some random guy dressed up as an octopus acting like he's a Pokemon. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Dragonair should have been the first evolution to get the flying type because it literally has wings on his ears. It literally has wings for ears. And even in the anime, it is seen flying. Oh, and do you notice anything with his name? Do you see it? It's a conjunction of dragon and air. Heliolisk should have been a pure electric type, not a normal type as well. Like, why is it a normal type to begin with? I'm pretty sure it's based on that dinosaur from Jurassic Park, and do you see anything normal with this? No. Blastoise should have been given the steel type because, for one, it literally has steel cannons on the back of his shell, and it's pretty much known for the move Flash Cannon because of red. And for two, it's the only Generation 1 starter without a second typing, so it would just fit in perfectly with Charizard and Venusaur. Nosepass should have been a rock and steel type, not just a rock type, because it's literally a compass. And compasses are usually operated with a steel needle and are attracted to magnetic fields, so it would have made perfect sense. Slowpoke should have been a pure water type, and hey, I love the type combination of water psychic as well, but Slowpoke is the dumbest Pokemon ever. It even says in his Pokédex entry that it takes it 5 seconds to realize that it's in pain. So how on earth does this Pokemon have psychic abilities? Can you get so dumb that you get psychic powers that way? Chansey should be a normal fairy type because it can learn the move Teleport, which kind of makes sense because it goes back to the Pokemon Center to heal up Pokemon with Nurse Joy. And that seems pretty fairy-like to teleport and do that stuff. Luxray should be an electric dark type because everyone and their mother thought Luxray was a dark type. Just look at it. And it's got the abilities Intimidate and Rivalry, and it learns a ton of dark type moves naturally and by TM. Sudowoodo should be a grass type because just look at it as well, it's literally a tree. I don't even know why it's a rock type, that's so weird. Emboar should have been a pure fire type or even a fire ground type because I guess pigs like to play in the mud. I think Game Freak just made Emboar a fire fighting type because that was the popular thing, everyone loved that typing until they got sick of it because of this one. Which leads me to the next one. The only reason why Samurott wasn't a fighting type is because Emboar was a fighting type. And I personally think Samurott should have been a water fighting type or even a water steel type because it's literally based on a samurai, which is a warrior that moves like water and fights with a sword made of steel. Xerneas should have been a fairy grass type because if Executor is a grass type because it's a palm tree, then Xerneas should most definitely be a grass type because it literally turns into an actual tree in its eternal form. Xerneas is more tree than Executor. Swellow should have been the first pure flying type Pokemon because when you look at Rookidee and Tailo, what's the difference between this one being a pure flying type and this one being a normal flying type? What makes Tailo more normal than Rookidee? They're both birds. Volbeat and Illuminize should definitely have the flying type. They're literally fireflies. They're flying with their wings on their back. They're in the air. They're flying. It just seems that Game Freak made him pure bug type in spite because there was already a lot of bug flying types in that generation and beforehand. Typhlosion should be a pure normal type because Game Freak took away his flames. Just look at it. It's hideous. Oh wait, that's Bidoof. Okay, here we go. It's hideous. Ninjask should have been a bug dark type. Out of all bug type Pokemon, Ninjask was probably the most worthy one to be the first bug dark type Pokemon because it's literally based on a ninja, an agent who fights in the shadows. Glalie should be an ice rock type Pokemon, and I don't really understand this one because in multiple Pokédex entries it states that his body is made of rock with an armor of ice. So what more can I say? It should be an ice rock type, not just an ice type. Solgaleo should have been a fairy steel type because its second type makes little sense because it's a Pokemon based on alchemy, which is more of a magical power than a psychic power. Oh, and it being weak to fire is a bit of a problem because the most common symbol of alchemy is a lion devouring the sun. So maybe it being a rock steel type would make more sense because alchemy is all about turning stuff into gold. Spearow and its evolution should have gotten the dark typing in Generation 2 because they just scream dark type energy. Just ask Ash and Pikachu. And if they would have gotten the dark type in Generation 2, it would have been the more unique and not just a knockoff of the Pidgeline. Florges should be a grass fairy type. And okay, I understand why Flabebe and Floette are not grass types because they're just simply fairies holding on to a flower. But how is Florges a fairy that feuds with a flower, not a grass type? And it's literally known as the garden Pokemon, not to mention that it learns a ton of grass type moves. Charizard should have been a fire dragon type because it's literally like the Pokemon that represents all dragon type Pokemon. It just screams dragon energy. It looks like a dragon, it's in the dragon egg group, it looks dragon type attacks, and its mega evolution even becomes a dragon. Pumpkaboo should have been a grass fire type because it's literally a jack-o'-lantern. It would have been the perfect Pokemon to give a grass fire typing to. How could you make a jack-o'-lantern Pokemon that's not on fire? Game Freak, you blew it. Plus, we already had a grass ghost type in the same generation, so it's not like that typing would have been missed out on if it was a grass fire type. Arceus should have been the question mark typing because how can Arceus be the same type as a Bidoof? Incineroar should have actually been a firefighting type Pokemon. I know, we've had enough firefighting type starter Pokemon, but Incineroar is literally a wrestler. I feel like Game Freak made Incineroar a dark type on purpose, so us fans wouldn't complain about the abundance of firefighting starters. Oh, and also it's in Smash Bros, a fighting game, so yeah. Psyduck and most definitely Golduck should be water psychic types. Because for one, it says in Psyduck's Pokédex entry that its headaches are so extreme that it allows it to use psychic powers. And you would think when it evolves into Golduck, it would master these powers, but nope. And for two, the word Psy is in Psyduck's name, which stands for psychic, so I don't understand. Ninetales should have been a fire psychic type, and just based on its first Pokédex entry, gives it enough evidence to why it should be. It states that it's very smart and very vengeful. Grabbing one of his tails could result in a 1,000-year curse. And that sounds pretty psychic-y to me. Oh, and it also learns extrasensory and imprison naturally, so yeah. Shroomish should be a grass poison type because first of all, it's a little mushroom and mushrooms are usually poisonous. And second of all, it has multiple Pokédex entries stating that its spores are so toxic that it makes trees and weeds wilt around it. And even that it spouts poison spores from the top of its head. So yeah, it should definitely be a poison type. Shelmet should be a bug steel type, and I'm just baffled by this. How on earth is Shelmet not a steel type when it's literally a bug inside of a knight's helmet? And also when you trade it with Carablast, it is said that Carablast steals its armor, which is why it turns into Escavalier, a bug steel type Pokemon. This one just doesn't make any sense. Celebi should swap his Psychic type for a Fairy type to make it a Grass Fairy type. Because I would say Celebi is the personification of a Fairy Pokemon, because just look at it, it screams Fairy. And also, I'm pretty certain it's based on Navi from The Legend of Zelda. Because there's a Zelda game where Link time travels between his younger self and older self, and Celebi is known for time traveling. And on top of that, an Onion Fairy just sounds amazing. Arbok should have gotten the Dark typing in Generation 2 to make it a Poison Dark type, because Arbok is an iconic Team Rocket Pokemon, and also in popular culture, snakes are generally seen as evil, so seeing it as a Poison Dark type would have made perfect sense. Noctowl should have definitely been a Flying Psychic type, because for one, owls are generally seen as a symbol of wisdom, but more importantly for two, it has a ton of Pokédex entries talking about its intellectual powers, and half of its moves are Psychic type. Just look at them. I am shocked that Noctowl wasn't a Psychic type Pokemon. Drapion should have definitely been a Bug Poison type and not a Poison Dark type, because it's literally a Scorpion and it's known as the Ogre Scorpion Pokemon, so I don't understand the Dark typing on this Pokemon. Porygon should have been an Electric Steel type, because how on earth is Porygon normal? It is literally a digital code that was made inside of a computer. Like, Game Freak, you're telling me that this digital code is as normal as a Rattata? That's like comparing a banana to an iPhone app. It just doesn't make any sense. Tasserina should have been a Grass Fighting type, because it has multiple Pokédex entries that state that it uses its legs for kicking, and that it can also knock out a kickboxing champion with a single blow. So Hitmonlee better watch out. This one I'm very disappointed about. Flygon would have been the perfect Bug Dragon type Pokemon, because for one, it literally evolved from an ant and a dragonfly, and for two, it's in the Bug and Dragon Egg group, so I'm just shocked it wasn't a Bug Dragon type. Oh, and it also learns Bug Buzz naturally, and that seems pretty bug-like to me. Lugia should have been a Psychic Water type, because it is literally known as the Guardian of the Sea. Do I need to say much more? Torkoal should have been the first Fire Rock type Pokemon, not Carkol, because Torkoal literally has coal in his name, and it has Pokédex entries that state that it generates energy by burning coal inside of his shell. So Carkol in its evolution line totally stole this awesome type combination from our boy Torkoal. Spinarak and Ariados should have been Bug Dark types, because it would have been the perfect introduction to the Dark typing in Generation 2, because Spinarak is a pretty early Pokemon that you encounter at night, and also spiders are generally seen as evil, so it would have been perfect. Licky should be, well, I'm not sure what type it should be, but it should not be normal. Just look at it. Does that seem normal to you? Seriously. Dunsparce should have been a normal ground type, because almost all of his Pokédex entries talk about how it burrows into the ground. And some of his earliest moves are ground type, so yeah, I feel like it would have been a much better normal ground type Pokemon than Diggersby. Diggersby is just weird. Lucario should have been a Fighting Psychic type, because it's literally a Pokemon that is sensitive to Aura, and that seems pretty Psychic-like to me. I feel like Game Freak just gave it the Fighting Steel combo just to make it more badass and cool for the kids. But honestly, the only thing that's steel about this Pokemon is that it has spikes on his hand. Solrock should have been a Rock Fire type, not a Rock Psychic type. It's literally a rock based on the sun, and also it learns a bunch of Fire type moves naturally and by TM. Jirachi should have been changed to a Fairy Psychic type. And I know, Jirachi is synonymous with a shooting star that probably has some metallic materials on it. But why does it make Jirachi a Steel type? I feel like it's more suited for the Fairy type, because it is the wish Pokemon that grants wishes. And that's literally what fairies do. Mega Gengar should have been a Ghost Dark type, because just look at it, it looks like a very evil ghost. And let me just read his Ultra Sun Pokédex entry. It tried to take the lives of anyone and everyone. It will even try to curse the trainer who is its master. So yeah, that sounds pretty evil. Miss Trevis and Miss Magius should have been given the Fairy type in Generation 6, because they are both known as the Mischief Pokemon that like playing tricks on people. And that is like totally what a fairy would do. Cresselia should have been a Psychic Fairy type, because in the lore of Pokemon, it is said that Cresselia can ward off Darkrai and its nightmares. So you would think that it would have the type advantage against Darkrai, a Dark type Pokemon, that currently has the type advantage on Cresselia. Mega Absol should have been a Dark Fairy type, because it is like the god of death. It literally grows angel wings and is known for appearing before disastrous events. And I feel like the Dark Fairy type would have been the perfect type combination for that little lore that it has. And finally, Furret should have been the god type, because just look at him. I freaking love Furrets. Who's with me? And there you go, 50 Pokemon with the wrong types. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, you like long fact videos? Well, I have a ton of them, and you should start with the 151 facts about the 151 original Pokemon, right here. And also subscribe and ring that bell.